and welcome to episode 2 of Thoughts of a Personal Trainer. Now, I quickly want to say thank you for the feedback on the last one. I got a lot of messages, and I've been talking to a lot of people this week, and I've got lots of positive feedback, which is good. If you do want to see like little clips and little breakdowns, I'm going to be breaking this up and putting it on my social media, so links up below if you'd like to follow that. But yeah, we're going to get cracking straight in with the video today. Not a lot of thoughts this week. I've kind of been pretty busy. So there's going to be one main thing on my mind, and then I've got two smaller things. So we're going to start with one of the smaller things. And it was actually something that I was thinking about when I was training this week. So there was someone behind us who was like powerlifter, who was doing bench press. And I think I was doing like a dumbbell press or something like that. And the thought that was in my head is like how strength training is like the focus of strength training is trying to make a weight as light as physically possible. You know what I mean? So when you're doing bench press, the goal for that is to make the barbell or whatever weight you're using as light as physically possible. Now, something that a lot of people who are trying to build muscle might not understand as much is it's pretty much the polar opposite if you're trying to build muscle. Now, you ideally would like whatever weight you're using to feel as heavy as possible. And that's kind of something I've been like challenging myself with this week, because I feel like it's quite easy just to pick up, I don't know, like a 30-40 kilo dumbbell and just try and get as many reps out as you can. But in reality, with building muscle, if you can make like a 20 kilo dumbbell feel as heavy as a 40 kilo dumbbell, then you're probably going to get more out of it essentially. It's going to induce less fatigue. It's going to probably produce more stimulus, because what tends to happen is, like, if you use a big massive dumbbell, you just end up pushing as hard as you can from whatever angle you can. Whereas what I've been doing a lot more this week is maybe reducing weight down by 30% of what I would normally use, but doing things like really slow controlled tempos, and honestly the difference is incredible. So that was the thought I kind of had, was like, the goal when you're doing powerlifting and stuff is ideally you want to try and make the weight feel as light as possible. If you pick a 200 kilo deadlift up and that feels super light, brilliant. But then again, if your goal is purely building muscle, then ideally you want to try and find ways to make whatever weight you're using as heavy as possible. And it's a really, really cool stimulus. So next time you're in the gym, if you have a goal and your goal is purely building muscle, or you're in a phase of muscle building or whatever that might be, give this a go. So maybe bring the weight down from whatever you would normally use and aim to, imagine you're trying to put as much of that weight you're using into the target muscle as possible. Honestly, I've literally been ill at some of the soreness I've been getting from some exercises. It's incredible. So you can do little things by taking the tempo down as slow as you can, having little pauses at the bottom of the rep, and then just generally learning about how a muscle moves so you can leverage that muscle really well. And the difference for me just this week alone has been pretty incredible. I'm feeling quite good at the moment, which is a good thing. So yeah, that was just a little thing I thought this week, and I thought I'll write that down and I'll throw it in. Now, number 2 is the big one that I've been thinking about like all week, and I've also been thinking about in context of this video because it's maybe a controversial one. And I don't want to come across as like I'm hating on this, but what I've written down was the 9 to 5 system. Now, obviously what I mean by that is like working 9 to 5. Now, I'm not saying that like having a 9 to 5 is a bad thing, and if you've got one, like brilliant, like stability, like consistent hours, amazing work. But I was thinking about it more from like maybe an employer's standpoint. So not as an employee, as an employer. So, and I want to actually preface this with, I've never actually had a 9 to 5 before, so I might be a little bit more biased, but my partner has had a 9 to 5. She's had like 3 last jobs with 9 to 5s, so I kind of picked her brain this week. And what I've been thinking is like, why is a 9 to 5 such an arbitrary time? Like, why start at 9? Why finish at 5? And the main sort of factor I've been thinking about is like, imagine a world, let's say this alternate universe where money doesn't exist, but you still have the same responsibilities at your job. So the same tasks still need to get done, but there is no monetary exchange. Now, the only valuable thing that you have, which you still have anyway, is time. So how different would your job look if that was the case? If you weren't getting paid, but there wasn't a monetary exchange, but the only exchange was, the main thing you had to offer was your time. Now, again, what I've been thinking is like, there's probably dips in productivity throughout the day. Like, again, I'm not speaking from experience here, but let's say maybe between 9 and 10, like, everybody knows in the office that no one gets anything done during that time. It's the time when you're getting into work, you maybe bring your breakfast in, you've got your coffee, you're just logging on, you fanny on for a bit. Maybe 9 till 10, nothing's actually getting done. Same goes maybe 4 till 5, the last hour of the day. Everyone's like, ugh, tired, there's not a lot of work getting done, maybe some people are finishing early, etc, etc, etc. And then again, when I asked my partner about this, the first thing she said when she talked about that is 3 p.m. and I related with this straight away. So 3 p.m. is, maybe around 2 or 3 p.m. is actually a time when, I've been reading about this before I go, reading about this in a book called How We Sleep. I believe it's by Matthew Walker. He talks about the fact that we are almost biologically ingrained to become sleepy around that time. So you might know, if you have a 9 to 5 or just general day-to-day life, around 2 to 3 p.m. you just feel tired, and it happens to me all the time. It's actually that time right now. And you just don't feel like energetic at all. So I could imagine in a workplace, if you've been 9 to 5, you're sitting there 2, 3 p.m. You've still got 3-4 hours to go. You've had your lunch 2 hours ago. You maybe start to feel hungry. I can imagine there's a massive dip in productivity there. So going back to my original point then, imagine if there was, again, no monetary exchange and you just got paid per, let's say you could monetize tasks. So every task you had was your job requirements. How many hours do you think you'd actually spend in there per day if everything you're doing was productivity? I guarantee you probably isn't that much. So it's just kind of baffling to me that it's such a, like, an arbitrary system that, like, pretty much not every company, but a lot of companies these days are employing. And I feel like, imagine if, let's say, your company said to you, we're going to pay you double the amount, but half your hours. So you'd still get the same wage each month, but you are still required to do the same amount of tasks. I guarantee you would still get what you need done in that amount of time, and you'd have exponential more time to, be at home, kids, etc, etc, etc. It's literally incredible, and it's all I've been thinking about this week. Like, as human beings, like, there's a cool concept, I can't remember what the name of it is, but basically if you give yourself X amount of time to do something, let's say clean the house. If I give myself 3 hours to do that, it's going to take 3 hours to do that. But let's say I give myself half an hour to do that. I bet you I could get it done in half an hour if I needed to. But we overestimate maybe the time that we're going to take to do something. So let's extrapolate that out now into a 9 to 5 system. If you give your employees the ability to just be at work when they're being productive, or just doing work that is meaningful to that day, and once they're done, they can leave. From my own perspective of things, like, how is that not the standard these days? Like, again, in that alternate universe where money doesn't exist, that's how it would work. But because money is the exchange, you have to be able to, like, maybe you don't pay people as much per hour, but you keep them there for longer. And, like, I don't know, it's all I've been thinking about this week. And I want to debate about this. Like, if you have a 9 to 5 and you think I am completely off the mark, like, and I am completely wrong, please let me know. Like, put down in the comments what your opinion is, because again, I've never had a 9 to 5. And again, when I talked to my partner, she said a few of the jobs were different, where she did see big drop offs at certain jobs, other jobs it didn't. Maybe that comes down to management or whatever. But I just feel like in the next, 15, 20, 30, 40, 50 years, I can just see the 9 to 5 system just being completely thrown out the window, because it just doesn't make any feasible sense to me. So yeah, that is the point I want to make. Again, please debate me in the comments if you think I'm wrong. I do not care. Tell me I'm completely off the mark, and we will have a chat about it. Like, this is what I want from these videos. I want interaction from you. I want you to tell me, Lewis, you're wrong, Lewis, you're ugly, Lewis, you're this, Lewis, you're that. I want to hear it, okay? So drop a comment now or drop a comment after the last one. And the last one is actually something I thought about today. And again, it's another thing where it may be controversial, it may be not be, I may be wrong, I don't know. And the thing that I've written down was the need for your attention. Now, what that means is, like on social media and stuff now, the need for your attention is like exponentially growing. Like you'll see it TikTok or Instagram or Facebook or something, whatever it is. You've probably got someone on your page that is like, you see them every single time you open the app. They're consistently posting maybe like, I don't know, 3 times a day, 2 times a day, every day, etc, etc, etc. And the amount of people that are doing that these days is incredible. And it's because the need for your attention is exponentially growing. It is crazy. I seen a video where now apparently a YouTube subscriber is like the most valuable subscriber across any platform. And again, it's just showing the exponential growth of social media and all the platforms. And the original point where I'm going back to is the need for your attention growing, contributing positively or negatively to social media? And what got me thinking about it is, I won't say names and stuff, but there's just some guy who posts every day. Like, I open my Instagram, it's there. And I just think the quality sometimes, I'm like, like what? Like the quality of the content just is not what it used to be. And in my opinion, it's because he's pushing so much stuff out there. Like something is about to slip through something is going to slip through the net essentially at some point. And the thing I've been thinking about is like, imagine these creators that are pushing out content day after day after day after day. Imagine, let's say they put out 50% less content, but they put out 50% less content, but they spend 50% more time on everything that they produced. How much better would their content be? Now, would they be, I don't know, would they improve or would they not? Would they be putting out more positive stuff? Would they be getting more return on their investment? Because at the end of the day, everything is money. And the more posts they put out, the more relevant they are on their social media, the more you see them, the more you interact with them, the more you think you're learning from them, the more you're likely to buy from them. So my always thought has just been, if they could spend 50% longer on the content that they produce, but put out 50% less, is that a good thing? Is that a bad thing? I don't know. Personally, for me, like, I would say it's probably a good thing. I'm kind of like a perfectionist where, like, I don't know, I'll spend a lot longer editing a video than I probably need to. And some of the edits you think, did I really need to do that? I've just spent an hour and a half on a little logo that flies in and out. I don't know, it's crazy. But like, I'm just keep thinking, if they spend 50% more time on their content instead of putting 50% more content out, would it be better or would it be worse? I have no idea. Let me know what you think about that, because again, I want to debate everything in these videos. So yeah, that is actually all I've got for today. An easier one, just 3 little points. Again, please leave a comment, or if you don't want to leave a comment, message me directly and we will have a chat. I want an open discussion with everything we've talked about in the last video as well. If you missed episode 1, please go and have a watch of that. If you don't want to watch full form, I'm going to try and break these up into TikToks or Instagram posts or whatever. But it's just a little bit difficult trying to condense 16 minutes into 60 seconds. So I'll try my best. But that is all we've got for today. If you did enjoy today, please feel free to drop a like, drop a subscription on the video. And I will see you in the next one. Thank you very much for watching.